The European Gravitational Observatory, EGO, has been founded in the year 2000 by the French CNRS and the Italian INFN, two very large agencies in the two countries, with the aim to construct and operate and develop the large interferometer VIRGO, devoted to the search of gravitational wave that you see on the background. Now at EGO we have 60 between engineers and technicians working on the site, coming from 8 nationalities. We have also a Russian engineer among us. So just to show again the interaction, active interaction with the Russian research institutions. Indeed, since the history of science, men have been looking to understand the origin and the structure of the universe. Cosmology was one of the first thinking of mankind till the Babylonian times. It is not strange that we are here still working, try to understand the cosmology, the origin of the universe and its development. More and more that physics evolve and technology evolve, because to do research in very complex fields that need very sophisticated instruments, we need very high technology. There is a reciprocity of advantages between engineering and technology and physics. This is a continual interchange, and we have very many examples of this very constructive interaction. One other aspect beyond the technology is the wish and the interest of the man to understand. And this comes from a long time ago, as I was telling before. Initially, it was the philosophy that was driving the wish of knowledge of mankind. Then science has taken his fundament, starting from just nearby. Here we are near to Pisa, where Galileo Galilei was born. So the physics started essentially 10 kilometers from here in the modern sense. And then developed. Obviously, till the beginning there was some discussion and initially contrast between science from one side and the religion from the other, because clearly the religion had answers to the desire of the man to understand what is the universe, how the universe was created and developed. And from the other side, science wished to provide answers different, based on the experience, on the possibility to reproducing the reality. This was a conflict that lasted a lot of time. In my opinion, Immanuel Kant in the 18th century gave a very nice answer to this dichotomy, to this problem that philosophy and science had at the time. And his argument were clearly related to the fact that science and religion has two different domains to consider. The religion, according to Kant, was related to the moral behavior of person, while science was something that allowed the knowledge of the reality, the physics reality as it is around us. So in my personal opinion, these two can live together in a man, even in 21st century. I have no problem to believe that science could provide to us solution to the major problem related to the cosmology or to the reality around us. And at the same time, religion is related to the sentiment that man has developed in the beginning of history, to looking for something that was unifying the sentiment and the request of morality and ethic behavior of the man. Also the basis of human relationship at a certain time. So for me, they can live together without pretending to provide one to the other solution, because they are related to different sectors of our very rich experience.
Профессор Руден книжку написал, вот я читал, и там такая история, как бы книжка начинается с того, что он едет сюда, и прилетел, и едет с таксистом. Значит, и рассказывает таксисту грант-инструмент. Таксист говорит, вообще в народе говорят разное. Говорят, что это для связи с Богом. Вот. Ну, они посмеялись, типа Руденко подумал, что это шутка, вот. Потом они едут, и таксист ему говорит, ну и что, он что-то сказал? А Руденко ответил, нет, еще ждем. Вот можно это перевести как-то? Сложно.
Профессор Руденко ha scritto un libro su esperimento Virgo.
Sì.
All'inizio lui, quando è arrivato qua, ha preso taxi e stava venendo qua, il taxista fa una domanda che cos'è questo? Vediamo. Dice, io penso che questo è un strumento per parlare con Dio. Rudenko pensavo che è un scherzo, invece no. Fra un po' il tassista domanda, ma avete sentito il Dio? E Rudenko risponde, ancora no.
Ancora. Ci riusciremo.
Sì, perché riferiva a onde gravitazionali.
Esatto. But indeed, the first signal that comes from the Big Bang, so the beginning of the history of the universe, are gravitational waves. Well before lights, neutrinos, the first signal immediately after the Big Bang are gravitational waves. I do not think that with this sort of instrument we will be able to reveal the gravitational wave background coming from the initial moment of the creation of the universe, but with the next generation we will be able to arrive to that, I'm sure.
Ну вот, например, темная материя. Есть она, нет ее. Можно всю жизнь прозаниматься, ничего не найти. Так же и с гравитационными волнами.
Может случиться. Если, perché lui dice che, diciamo, che rischio, in che senso? Perché c'è un'ipotesi. Dopo abbiamo, ad esempio, è stata realizzata l'ipotesi di questo strumento.
Sì.
E c'è il rischio che, diciamo, non troviamo niente.
Certo.
Oh.
We are clearly, with these studies, with this research, we are basing ourselves on some theoretical framework in which a few points are resulting from theories. We have the gravitational wave theory coming from Albert Einstein. We have an indirect evidence of the existence of gravitational wave due to the fact that already in the year 73 it was observed that in a system of two peculiar stars, two neutron stars, that are orbiting one around the other, the period of their orbital motion was changing due to the fact that one was coming nearer to the other, spiraling its orbit. This is a gravitational system that is losing energy due to the fact that they are moving one near to the other. The very detailed measure of the time of the revolution of one star around the other was following exactly the prediction of the loss of energy as from the gravitational theory of Albert Einstein. So this is an indirect indication that some part of the energy has been moved away from that system, and the only possible way to move this energy out is through the emission of gravitational waves. There are no other way to move energy from this system. So there was no detection of gravitational wave, but there was an indirect evidence that probably the only possible mechanism compatible with that observation is the emission of gravitational wave. This experience has been repeated for many millisecond pulsar, this binary system, very peculiar, and there's run for hundreds of these systems. So it seems that we have an indirect indication of the existence of gravitational waves. The problems, in my opinion, are two. One is the energy that the systems can emit, and if these sort of instruments are adequate to reveal this very thin signals, because clearly, as being a very low energy signal, it is very hard to reveal this. The second point is more related to the astrophysical aspect. The history of galaxies, as we know now, foresees a certain number of peculiar objects that can create this binary system that emit gravitational wave. But there is a large uncertainty in the astrophysical model of the evolution of galaxies, so we are not sure that this model provides the correct estimate of the frequency of this event. So we are fighting against two aspects: the sensitivity of the instrument and the statistics of the events. If we are happy, in a couple of years we will see.
А если не найдут гравитационные волны?
Se non troviamo, non riusciamo a captare.
Well, if with this instrument, for let's say an interval of 3-4 years, the instrument, I mean this instrument plus the two American LIGO instruments, with very sophisticated instrument, in 3 years we do not detect anything, this means that we have to modify one of these two hypotheses, or the nature of the object that are emitting, or the statistic and then the evolution of galaxy. So anyway, we will learn some physics that it is impossible to know through other ways. So we will do a progress in science.
А есть конкуренция? Is it concurrence, LIGO and VIRGO?
Well, they started in concurrence several years ago, in competition, but now we are cooperating together. We have a very strong agreement between LIGO and VIRGO. We are operating together, we exchange data, we need each other. A real detection can be guaranteed only if it is done together by the three instruments. This will ensure the high probability of the event, to be sure that this is really a signal gravitational wave, not just a spurious signal with other sources. It is not something local, but is really an astronomical event. And at the same time, the detection with three instruments located so far on the Earth will allow to restrict the region of the sky from which the signal is arriving, so can permit to study the origin of the signal also with other instruments, such as X-rays, telescopes in the optic regime, and neutrinos experiment like the one in Baksan, and so on. So this is a multi-messenger study of the sources, and obviously the possibility to see the sources in other sector of astronomy will reinforce much the discovery.